Hello, everyone. In this lesson, we will be covering Lesson 5 in Booklet 9, that is dividing fractions when you have one fraction and one whole number. Now, this lesson will not take too long. We use a lot of the concepts from our previous lessons, including how to divide and how to multiply by fractions. Now, we can jump right into example 1. Here we have 6 over 10 divided by 3. Now, please remember that when you have a whole number, you can write it as a fraction by placing it over 1. So we can write this as 6 over 10 divided by 3 over 1. Right? So we're using the same steps as previous lesson videos. Now, we have two fractions that are being divided. So the next step is to turn that into a multiplication problem. We're going to take that division symbol, turn it into a multiplication, as long as we take the second fraction and flip it, take the reciprocal. So the second fraction is going to turn into 1 over 3, and the first fraction is going to stay as is. Next, we are going to multiply the two fractions. That means multiplying the numerators and multiplying the denominators. The numerators, 6 times 1 is equal to 6. The denominators, 10 times 3 is equal to 30. And then finally, now that we have the final answer, we are going to see if we can simplify, see if we can reduce it. So our two numbers are 6 and 30. Here is 6 on our factor chart. Here is 30. And they both have a number of factors in common. They both have a 1, they both have a 2, they both have a 3, and they both have a 6. Their greatest common factor, however, is going to be 6. So that means that we can divide both the numerator and the denominator by 6. Now, 6 divided by 6 is going to give me 1, and 30 divided by 6 is going to give me 5. Right, so really no new concepts. We're just applying what we've learned in previous lessons in different contexts. So let's take a look at the second example where we are, whoops, it's a little too zoomed in. The second example where we have 4 divided by 2 over 5. Now, step 1, this is easier if we have two fractions, so 4 over 1 divided by 2 over 5. Step 2, the best way to handle a division problem is to turn it into a multiplication problem. So we flip the second fraction and turn that division into a multiplication. Right, the 2 over 5 becomes a 5 over 2, and division becomes multiplication. Step 3, we multiply the two fractions, right? So we multiply 4 and 5 to give us 20, and we multiply 1 times 2 to give us 2. And then finally, we check the factor chart to reduce. Our two numbers are 20 and 2. Here is 20, here is 2, and the largest number that they're going to have in common is 2. So that means that we divide both the numerator and the denominator by 2, giving us a final answer. 20 divided by 2 is 10, and 2 divided by 2 is just 1. Now remember, when a fraction is over 1, you can rewrite it without the denominator. So we can just rewrite this as 10, and that's our final answer. Take a couple of minutes, try these next two examples, and then compare your answers with mine. Example A, 4 over 7 divided by 2 is like 4 over 7 divided by 2 over 1. Now we are going to turn this into a multiplication. So that's like 4 over 7 times 1 over 2. Now that we're multiplying two fractions, we can multiply the numerators. 4 times 1 is 4, and multiply the denominators. 7 times 2 is 14. Finally, we're going to simplify. 4 and 14 are our two numbers. Here is 4, here is 14, and it looks like the largest number they have in common is a 2. So we can divide the numerator by 2, we can divide the denominator by 2, giving me a final answer of 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 14 divided by 2 is 7. Here in our final example, we have 5 divided by 10 over 11. First thing we're going to do is turn that 5 into a fraction. 5 over 1 divided by 10 over 11. And then we're going to change that division problem into a multiplication problem by swapping, flipping, or taking the reciprocal of the second fraction, however you want to call it. Next, we can multiply the numerators. 5 times 11 is 55, and the denominators. 1 times 10 is 10. And finally, we are going to see if we can simplify, see if we can reduce this fraction. Our two numbers are 55 and 10. Our two numbers are 55 and 10, so we're going to look for that on our chart. Here is 10. Here is 55. And let's zoom out a little bit so that we can see what's going on here. Oh, they're quite far apart, actually. Okay, so 10 has 1, 2, 5, and 10. 55 has 1, 5, 55, and 11. So going back and forth, it looks like the largest number they have in common is a 5. All right, I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see both at once. Okay, so we're going to divide both 10 and 55 by 5. Now this one's a little bit tricky, so you can use your calculator for 55 divided by 5, or as a reminder, the answer is right here. Right, 55 divided by 5 is 11. So that is going to be 11 over, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. That's your final answer. Okay, and that is about it for this lesson. Not too long of a lesson if you have been keeping up with the previous ones. As usual, take some time to complete the worksheet that is below, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.